Welcome back to the Rise interview, where we speak to the newsmakers as well as ordinary people doing extraordinary things around the world and featuring the voices at the heart of the conversations. I'm Somna Sambo. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari says the unity of members displayed during the APC National Convention has placed the party on a very firm footing ahead of the 2023 general election. President Buhari, who witnessed the inauguration of the new National Working Committee of the APC, says that the smooth conduct of the convention raises the prospect of a mouth-watering victory for the APC in the 2023 general election. Now, I'm being joined by a lawmaker and chairman of the Senate Committee on the Independent National Electoral Commission, who is a member of the All Progressives Congress and a very senior member. He's also a former governor of Kano State, Senator Kabiru Gaya. So good to have you, distinguished journalists here.
And so good to have you too.
Yes, and seeing that you're relaxed after the National Convention.
Somehow relaxed, having sleepless nights for 2 days, but we managed. A few hours sleep at least.
The PDP is kicking against your party, saying that you engaged in imposition, you didn't allow party members to express their wish by voting. And it looks like the APC is not allowing the voices of its party members
PDP
to come up. What do you make of that?
It's a party under opposition because we are the ruling party. So they are bound to say whatever they want to say for them to talk to their supporters. But honestly, we had a very good, sound, and excellent convention because people were asked. President said, let's do consensus. And it's much easier to resolve problems when there is consensus. But when you go to voting, people will say they'll be rigged and they will not accept. Because I know but we still do some voting based even on the electoral act. Where there is no consensus, it means people must vote. And we did that voting. You were there when they counted the results in the morning. And when the ones who were mentioned, names were mentioned, the people screamed for happiness.
Yeah, especially and the position of national women leader.
And then those who lost embraced her and said they will support her in due course. So that is it. We did really democratic, and I was there with my governor and many other state governors that were there and other delegates. We spent the whole night there. We did leave that place until about 10 in the morning. Then by 11, they said the president is coming in for the swearing in of the new officials of the party, and we're back there. I just went home, had a shower, and come back to face the success we have made. It was really a tremendous success. I believe PDP have nothing much to say than to put so many stories against the APC. But APC will be the ruling party again come 2023, inshallah.
You're very confident
so
of
we
that.
maintain PDP as opposition to make us
very interesting indeed. Now let's talk about how APC has emerged from this national convention. What sort of political party do you think has been birthed after this convention with a national working committee that's been chaired by Senator Abdullah Adamu, who coincidentally is your colleague at the Senate?
He's my colleague and my friend, and he has contributed tremendously into the running of the Senate. And he was a governor before, like me, though, even though I was there much earlier than him. But he did very well, and he deserved the seat he was given for national leadership. And I congratulate him and all the people around him and all the senators that felt that he is one of us, which he really is. And then we had also another senator who is the secretary. And then we have another senator from Senator Kari, who is the Deputy national chairman from the North. So it like the legislature are on board to support the party.
And that's why I confronted one of your colleagues, during the national convention. I asked him, were these positions zoned to the Senate specifically?
No, they
because,
were
it looks like the senators are actually running the party now.
They were zoned to their zone and or to the state, and the people in that state felt that they are credible enough to handle that position. And in fact, they are even resigning as senators to be part of the party. That's a lot of sacrifice, and we appreciate them for doing that sacrifice. And there are people, they are senators of high caliber, even in the Senate, and they have been performing at their constituencies. And this is not their first time of coming back to the Senate, so they are credible enough to take any other position. Even if it is the position of president, I'm sure a senator, a good legislator can be a president. He can do very well because he knows the part of legislation and then the part of leadership, which means he can now be able to concur and stay very well and cordial.
Yeah, and another former senator is also one of the leading contenders for the APC presidential ticket, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
We don't call him a former senator.
Yeah, non-serving. Yeah, I mean non-serving senator,
and
so to say.
Former governor. So
yeah, who is also a former governor. Now, let's talk about how Senator Abdullah Adamu is a former governor, former two-term governor, and former chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, and then Yola Omisore is also a former deputy governor. There are these fears among party members that it looks like the governors are actually the ones that are controlling the party. Tell us
I don't
how.
want to use the word controlling, because I was a governor before many years, and when we're having conventions, the governors must come along and discuss the way forward, because they are virtually the leaders of the party at the state level, and it is the state level that comes up to form up a convention, because it is delegates from those states that come out to be in convention. So when I was a governor 30-something years ago, when we had a convention in Port Harcourt, we went there as a team and we decided we'd sit and discuss, and we're able to make up concessions on who are going to step down for others. And it works well. So there's nothing wrong in these governors coming in to intervene in trying to make sure the party is run smoothly, or at least there will be hitch-free, or at least there will be consensus, so that people will not be disenterprised for this process. So I believe the governors are doing their well, and it is a role that
they having so much overwhelming influence,
but not putting overwhelming influence. We discussed with them even the day before we go on the day we are going for the convention. That same afternoon or evening, we had a meeting with some of the governors to try and reconcile the problems within the Northwest, because the governors from the Northwest and almost the senators from the Northwest and some of the members of the House were there. We had a meeting, very important meeting, to make sure that there is reconciliation within that zone, and so that when we are delivering the votes for the next president, we bring the votes in bulk, and that will be a deciding factor. I know that Kano has always been a deciding factor in the national election, and therefore this time we'll be the deciding factor for the national election, and we are an APC. And Lagos also is another factor, Borno, Northwest, Northeast, and so on, are also part of the factor. So I believe that with APC now in control, I'm all called other Nigerians who are not under APC to vote for APC. Now, and you can see that some of the PDP members have decamped to APC, and some of them will give them leadership of the party.
Now, before I come to the issue of this defection of former PDP members, yes. I was actually asking that question because we had a serving governor as the caretaker committee chairman, yeah. And then he has now handed over through consensus arrangement to a former governor, including the national secretary being a former deputy governor. So the concerns are that it looks like the governors, serving governors and former governors are sort of forming an alliance to also present a former governor or even a serving governor as a presidential candidate of the party in 2023. What do you think of that?
I believe the press are trying to make up a story so that their news will be easily sellable. But that's not the fact, because it's just a group of people that we felt they are credible enough to lead us. And I believe that, as you know, Abdullah Adamu is credible enough to lead this party.
But the PDP doesn't think so. They say he has corruption allegations with the EFCC.
They are scared of him, because they are scared. When PDP sees a leader that they believe he knows them and he can challenge them and he can defeat them, normally they will try to raise some issues against him. But Abdullah Adamu is a gentleman. And see, Mai Mala tried here. He is a serving governor. But he took all the responsibilities of even running the state, at the same running a complicated leadership of political party which have so many interests, and the leading political party in Nigeria, where he has to deal with everybody, all the crises in those states. And he set up a committee to go and reconcile this state, and Abdullah Adamu was the chairman of that committee, and he went around to all the states where they have problems, including Kano. He was there, and then he came up with a report. So it means that Mai Mala, we have to praise him for what he did, and he ran the state for the nation over 2 years, and he did very well, and we really thank him. Even on the day he was handed over, we felt that, this is a credible man handing over to another credible person.
Despite all that was said against him.
Nobody is perfect. Is a human being.
Yeah.
For people, whatever decision you take, you find that it has merits and the demerits. But as long as the merits are more than the demerits, means you have succeeded. So
now, what do you make of the criticism that it looks like the APC has handed over the party's leadership to former PDP members who still have PDP blood flowing in them? They are saying that Abdullah Adamu was a strong PDP member, Omishore was a strong PDP member. Was this actually zoned to the new PDP that joined in forming the APC?
To credible people. We zone the positions to the zone that they should be able to pick a credible person from that
So
zone.
there was no internal politics
and then
to send it to the new PDP?
Because they came from PDP, doesn't matter. They left PDP because they felt that PDP is not within the level. They believe that PDP is not doing well and they should get out of it. And that's why they're out. And they came to a party that is doing extremely well. And I believe that the way we are going, we get more PDP members coming out. And even for Sangonas who have come to APC, and senators and House of members, we're happy that they are with us now. It means that we just need to re-energize our people and be able to solve any minor problems we have within the state. So I'm sure they are very much welcome. We are still waiting for more PDP persons or members to come to APC so that we can easily win the election.
Okay, very interesting submission you've got there. Senator, I want to talk about the Northwest. I mean, you seem to have presented a common front in terms of reaching consensus based on all the positions zoned to you by the party. Tell us how successful that is and how you're showing other parts of the country some semblance of leadership and that you can easily reach consensus.
As I told you just some minutes ago, that our governors from the Northwest invited the senators and the House of Reps on you to discuss issues of consensus. And even at the Benue, we also discussed that Northwest is the zone of the president. Let us not complicate more issues on him. Let us try and resolve all these aspirants. And my governor was there, Abdullah Umar Ganduje, he was there, and some of the aspirants, we invited them. I was there when we talked to them, and they said, no, let's agree. And most of them, if not all of them, agreed on consensus. And we are able, before the end of the day, we are able to resolve. And all those candidates who stepped down went to the podium and spoke to the APC members and told them, yes, they are the company, they are moving aside of or getting out of the election, and they are agreed on the consensus. And that's what exactly the Electoral Act says, that for any member stepping down, he has to write. And they all wrote a letter to the National Convention Committee that yes, they have decided based on their interaction or views or discussions they had with their members who or their supporters who are supporting them to run for that position. So it was an excellent thing. We went through the whole night where you are there, and I appreciate the Arise Television for sending a credible person like you to the venue.
Thank you so much.
The only thing you didn't do is you didn't vote, and we expect
because I'm not a member of your party.
Well, we're expecting you to move to our party.
Okay, very interesting indeed. Well, let's talk about some of these positions zoned to the Northwest. They include the National Vice Chairman, Northwest National Legal Advisor, the National Organizing Secretary, National Financial Secretary, and Deputy National Youth Leader of the party. Tell us why, for example, Kebbi State had to get the National Organizing Secretary.
Well, let me explain to you why. Last National ESCO of the APC, we had a National Treasurer in Kano. We had also other positions in that position. So we said that those who had the principal officers of the National Executive in this time now around were changing. We should now take less positions or smaller positions and allow the major ESCO positions to go to other states. And that's how it was done to Kebbi. Kebbi didn't get a major ESCO positions last dispensation. So we tried to do that. So this is the issue of saying we are balancing because we are harmonizing ourselves. We all agree to work as a team. And that's why Kebbi was given that position. But like Kasina, a legal advisor who is highly qualified legal professional, we put him there. And we all agree, the whole state in the Northwest agreed that let him be. There are other people contested with him. We called them, we spoke to them, and they all see reasons and they stepped down willingly. So all I'm saying is in Northwest, we did something extraordinary different by saying that the governors and us agreed to say, let's find the most credible
Yeah, and your governor, Abdullah Ganduje, played a very key role.
No, he was there all through.
I mean, all through. I saw him trying to see how he would talk with people to, reach a consensus and all of that. I mean, that's a form of...
did extremely well, and he had the energy. He was.
Yeah, I mean, someone was actually telling me that at that age, they didn't expect that he'll be moving up and down.
He's even stronger than us sometimes,
Okay, now let's talk about the Northwest as a zone. If you look at these positions, a lot of people would have said, considering the strength of the Northwest, it should have, the deputy national chairman not should have gone to it. But one of my sources actually told me that the reason why the Northwest got lesser positions in the new National Working Committee is because they anticipate the vice presidential candidate of the party of APC to come from this geopolitical zone in 2023. How true would you subscribe to that?
We didn't sit down to discuss from where the vice president will come, but I always have confidence in the leadership of APC. They sit down and discuss and be able to realize which part of the country really requires that kind of position. You remember the role the party played during the last dispensation when President Buhari became our flag bearer. We had to look for a credible, responsible human being who can be able to, who even knows the system, who is intelligent enough to be able to work with President Buhari. And we got Professor Yemi Osibanjo, who really fared well with the president, and he worked very well. He's a loyal vice president, very responsible man, and he's a professor and a religious man. So he's somebody who has a very high quality of being a leader, and he became the vice president. And he's now within the system for 8 years. He's very much familiar with what's happening. So I believe we need people like them into the system again. So APC will sit down and look for credible people to put in the leadership of who are going to be president and vice president of this country. If the position comes to the Northwest, well, that's a good one. At least we have the number of the votes to give out. So at least we are being paid back in our coins.
Okay. Now, let's talk about you wanting to contest for the position of governor of Kano State. Yeah. But if peradventure in one way or the other, the same scenario that happened to Atiku in 1999 happens to you, would you jettison the idea and go to be vice president of Nigeria?
Well,
as somebody to support the flag bearer of the party.
As a human being, people have ambitions, but you don't put your ambition against others. You look at a situation where if you are credible enough, you have been invited to join, then there is no problem with that. Yemi Osibanjo, the vice president, His Excellency, he was invited to join. People look at his credentials, his capability, and for those who say let him be there, they didn't fail the nation because he is credible enough to be there. So in terms of that, if anything happens and there is somebody from the south, I'm not saying I want to run for.
Yeah, but if you're asked to be the vice presidential candidate, would you agree and jettison the idea of wanting to be Kano governor?
If I'm asked to be either senator or governor or vice president, whatever God decides and whatever my people say, I'll work with them.
Okay.
Because it's not their own wish, the God's decision.
Yeah, I mean, very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Tell me why you are so confident that the APC will maintain its win in certain states in the Northwest, especially Kano, which is very strategic. Well, because we have seen Kwankwaso, former governor of Kano State, floating a new group that has now fused into an existing political party, the NNPP, and the former governorship candidate of the PDP has resigned from the PDP and gone to that new party with former Governor Kwankwaso. Do you think that's a threat to APC in Kano?
Well, let me tell you, I've been in Kano politics or in Nigerian politics since 1982, and I'm still in politics. And I can understand, and I governed Kano for 2 good years, which was very peaceful, and I still, for today, I have records of one of the governors that maintained, put 2 years, his first 2 years without crisis. So I can understand the politics of Kano. Yes, Governor Kwankwaso has been a very good friend, a brother to me, and I can understand his politics. I have nothing against him, and he also has good respect to me, and I also respect him. But I believe that Kano politics is a matter of people understanding how it runs. And we have won election in Kano State on same system, same ground: popularity, capability, and acceptance. and Nigerians, Kano people accepted APC in Kano State. We have some problems, challenges. That's clear we do have. But I believe within the next few months we'll overcome it. And that's why during our Electoral Act, we made an amendment. You know, before a candidate must be nominated 1 month to election or 3 months to election. But we now defy it to 6 months for so many reasons. One, will allow the candidate to go around and campaign so that he can be voted based on popularity, not on money politics. And that's why we have 6 months. For example, Kano, I have 44 local governments. If somebody campaigning for governorship wants to go around, for 6 months, yeah, he can go around 44 local governments. But if he has only 3 months, only at the end of the day, will have only 1 month. Yeah, I may not be able to visit local government. And then that means he'll be voted based on what he spends on. But if you're able to go around, you can be able to spend less, though you can spend more for the campaign, but on the day of election you spend less because you already sanitized the people and they have seen you, you have visited them, you have talked to them one-on-one, and that means they have now confidence in you. So everybody brings money, they will take the money and be vote for you.
Okay, I'm being told we don't have enough time left, but I need to ask you this question. Yeah. Has Governor Ganduje settled the problems of APC in Kano? And after this convention, are we seeing a unified APC in Kano?
There is no leader that will settle his problems of leadership 100%. Even if it's a husband and his family in the house, or a man in the family, he wouldn't solve their problems 100%. Every day his life is full of challenges. You see this challenge and you try and solve it. That's when you are making progress. But if you see the challenges, you don't do anything, then it means you are not competent enough to handle even the family. But I believe Ganduje is working hard. There is problems, yeah, you cannot say we don't have, we do have. But we're trying to see how best we can do.
Yeah, I thought that this convention will help you to resolve all those issues.
No, the convention will help us to reduce some of our problems. But taking it 100%, nobody have solved out his problems 100%. Because definitely you live, you see challenges, every day you come out with new challenges and you solve them. And that's progress. But I'm saying that we will try and solve the problems in Kano.
Okay, and you think those problems won't affect your chances of emerging as the APC flag bearer for the governorship election in May when the primaries
God decides, nobody can stop it. But I believe that I'm praying to God and I'm working hard, and whatever comes to my way, I work in that direction, and I make sure that at least I work for APC, and APC will rule in Kano and in the nation by God's grace.
Okay, we must thank you so much, Senator Kabiru Gaya. Is a member of the All Progressives Congress and a governorship aspirant in the 2023 general election that will be coming up, and then of course he'll be seeking the ticket of the All Progressives Congress. We've been discussing the national convention here, and that's how it's been for this edition of the Arise interview. Do join us again tomorrow from me and the entire team here in Abuja. Goodbye and thank you for watching. I'm Somna Sambo.
It makes me feel terrible to see a country as big as Nigeria, as resourceful as Nigeria, and we're importing all our petroleum products.
Setting up a 650,000 barrels per day refinery is usually a project that is set up by sovereign countries, not by individuals, no matter how big you are.
It is very, very challenging project. It is huge. This is the biggest site today in Africa, and definitely one of the biggest in the world today.
The most transformational things that will be not only for Nigeria but for Africa in the next 10 years.
We have 29,000 Nigerians that are getting massive training. My prayer is that I will give most of my wealth while I'm alive. but you know, I'm very, very passionate about Nigeria and making Nigeria great.
People they make me laugh when they say 2K, not be money. 2K! You don't start to, you don't start. See you. You never hear of Fidelity get a lot of millions promo season 5 when you say, we just checking it 2K. You go fit to win plenty millions. All you need to do, carry waka, enter any Fidelity bank, open any Fidelity savings account, collect your ATM, or that account where you get already. Save just 2K. Then lucky winners fit to win 1 million naira every month. On top of that one lucky winner go win 5 million naira and 2 million naira for another lucky winner. And 50 winners go chop 10,000 naira. One by each. If you fit save 2K constantly, you fit carry up to 10 million naira go house. Oh, work.
My God, it is so evil. If you like, don't go and open your Fidelity Bank savings account and collect your ATM. So, the more you save, the higher your chances of winning.
I am with the man.
With Fidelity, we keep our